Greg Doucette is mostly known for rage bait, social media commentary, influencer commentary, and a whole lot of YouTube algorithm nonsense. But there was a time where he was actually pretty incredible. And today I'm gonna highlight Greg Doucette's best lifts, talk about him as a powerlifter, which he competed in a number of times, and his ability generally speaking. We're gonna talk squat, bench, and deadlift. Before I get into this, go ahead, pop in the comments what you think Greg Doucette might have been able to squat, bench, and deadlift back in the day in the bodyweight class of under 198 pounds. Before we get into that, I'm gonna talk about a record that he has that I tried to break. This is the total weight of a deadlift over the course of 1 minute, and I actually tried to break this with Greg. We're gonna pop some of that footage up here. Now, let's take a look at this record itself. Greg loads up 403 pounds on the bar. He then has a sumo stance, very short range of motion. And this is funny looking at Greg like this because he's this beefed up young version of Greg who doesn't look, he just looks so fresh. No offense, Greg, love you dude, but you do look fresh. You look like me when I was 12. But he absolutely cranks out these reps, and sumo deadlifts very advantageous for someone with long arms, makes it a fairly short range of motion, but we're gonna talk about why that's actually not that big of a deal for Greg in a minute. So he goes through, he's got 10 reps in the first 10 seconds, again at 403 pounds, under 200 pounds body weight, 21 reps at 20 seconds, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. Now, I know how painful this is. Talking about range of motion, talking about weak lockouts, 30 seconds at 31 reps now. This is ridiculous. Even in my current form, doing that many reps, even at 400 pounds, which for me is relatively light, probably not gonna happen. Through 40 seconds, he's at 41 reps, and now he's starting to feel the burn, starting to slow a little bit. But ultimately, this is a world record. He ended up hitting 50 reps in 50 seconds. Now I know he has another record for 60 seconds, but 50 reps at 403 pounds in 50 seconds is absurd. I don't care height, I don't care weight, I don't care drugs, I don't care. That is absolutely incredible. Let's talk about how this might translate over to his maximal strength. And this is where we have a little bit of a disconnect. So Greg, his max deadlift on record is 678 pounds, again in the under 198 kilo class. If we think about 403 pounds for 50 reps, this is well less than I would anticipate. Part of this could be because he was touch and go and a little bit of bouncing, but Greg is clearly more apt for bodybuilding than he is for strength sports. Big difference here is joint structures. With joint structures for bodybuilding, you want smaller, less robust, more dainty joints that make your muscles look bigger. For strength sports, you want the thickest possible joints. They can withstand lots of load, lots of intensity, and you can continue to bounce back day after day. I don't know exactly why his 1 rep max isn't as high as it could be, but 678 pounds, definitely less than I would anticipate for someone who could rep 400 pounds for 50. Nonetheless, this puts him as 925th all time in the under 198 kilo class across all federations. Not incredibly impressive, but enough to give a really solid tip of the cap to his capacity. Now, we're gonna follow this up with even more impressive numbers, in my opinion. I talked about long arms being a massive advantage when it comes to deadlifting. Obviously, that's gonna be a massive disadvantage when it comes to bench press, but in Greg's case, this is just not true. And it's because I don't think his arms are particularly long. I think he just has a particularly efficient deadlift technique. So here we have his bench attempts in a powerlifting comp. Now, I need to point something out. Greg puts in his deadlift video, World's Strongest IFBB Pro. I can't let that slide without talking about my man, Stan Efferding. He helps me with my nutrition. Stan Efferding, pro bodybuilder who has totaled over 2,200 pounds, deadlifted over 800, benched over 600, and squatted over 850. So shout out Stan Efferding. If you want to think about getting strong and being shredded, here's the guy to look to. Nonetheless, let's look at Greg's bench attempts. Attempt number 1, 480 pounds. Now in competition style lifting, the best I've ever done is 500 pounds at 300 plus pounds body weight. We're looking at Greg under 200, as who people know as a YouTube influencer, as a bodybuilder, not as a strength athlete. And we see first attempt, not bad at all. Now, whatever show this is, their press commands are very fast. Fine, you can only go with the commands you're given. Attempt number 2, 500 pounds, knocks it out, no problem. Attempt 3, it says it's a world record here at 231 pounds on the bench press. And he was given a 4th attempt. Potentially this is a rule in this federation if it's a world record. And he upped this previous world record to 518 pounds or 235 kilos. Now what's most impressive about this, again, people know Greg as a YouTube guy. His lift of 529 pounds, which we have as the highest lift when it comes to open powerlifting that Greg ever did, at a body weight of 197, puts him at the 33rd best bench press of all time for anyone who's under 200 pounds. That is absolutely phenomenal. If we think of the best ever, 520 goes to 620 for Andrei Sapozhanov. Sorry, dude, I don't know how to say that, but you're way stronger bencher than me, so hats off to you. John Hack is in 3rd all time at 589. But to think, John Hack at 590 pounds, and we've got Greg Doucette at 530 pounds. I would not guess that their numbers are anywhere that close to each other. Speaks to Greg actually being a pretty solid lifter back in the day. Last up is, I think self-admittedly, Greg would say this is his weakest lift, onto squats. Greg has a video here, 510 for 7. He says in Ray-Ban shorts, which is always funny when you look at someone who's popular on YouTube now. You look at their old YouTube stuff, and clearly he had some sort of deal with Ray-Ban, and so he put it in the title of the YouTube video. How far we have come with the YouTube algorithm. But 510 for 7, again, under 200 pounds. Even the first rep looks like a grind. He's squatting onto milk crates and box squatting with the box just very narrow right on the taint. Not how I'd recommend doing box squats. Nonetheless, 520 pound squats for reps at a body weight of under 200 pounds while being relatively lean. Very good. Obviously grinding out that last rep there, very difficult. And those are Greg's squat, bench, and deadlift. If we look at his actual rank all time, if we put it by total for people under 200 pounds, Greg is 361st all time. While that might not sound impressive, he is 361st out of 103,000 entries. So 361st out of 103,000 entries puts us at, he is in the top 0.3 percentile of lifters under 200 pounds. Sometimes people on YouTube are a bit more than meets the eye. Greg, shout out to your powerlifting in the past. Very well done. Clickbait might be more revenue generating, but maybe if you focus on strength sports, there could have been something there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think of Greg the Mutant Doucette's big lift. And as per usual, lift heavy, be kind. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll catch you tomorrow.